Happy holidays, everybody. How are you? Um, Man, I wish we had better news to talk about, right? I wish that we had the Kings playing well and winning and everybody was happy. And that's not the case. It's not the case. Here's the link to call the show. I'm more than happy to take your phone calls. We're not going to go that long today. Everybody's getting ready for the holiday. I had a very interesting show with Ryan in Sacktown last night on the post game. We got amazing feedback. We had several thousand people watching the show, and I want to thank you all very much for your support. It's been great to be able to do these shows. I wish that we had better news, so to speak, but I don't know what I don't know what else to say. I mean, we've pretty much covered it game in, game out. Jerry joins us at halftime. We have a Kings roundtable every week. Ryan gives you his opinion. I give you my opinion. Our opinions are normally in sync with one another, not all the time. I don't think there's a quick fix right now. I just don't. I'm not so sure the Kings will win their next game against the improved Detroit Pistons this year, who only have one fewer win than the Kings. I don't know what to think anymore with this team. I really don't. You know, I did a rant this morning that's been seen by right now 12,000 plus that I put out on X. I'm getting a multitude of comments, and I appreciate the heck out of everyone that takes the time to respond. I think the Kings are arguably the most disappointing team in the season right now, and I don't see a lot of light at the end of the tunnel. DeMar DeRozan, as good of a player that he is, and he's good, has not been a good fit for this team. It's very obvious to me that the Kings are not buying what Mike Brown is selling. It's just not. It's pretty obvious. There's a disconnect. I think there's a disconnect with De'Aaron Fox. And I don't see how it gets better anytime soon. I really don't. I want to talk about a book that I received called A Tale of Two Seasons. It's kind of getting, but it's Paul Westfall's book, who passed away in January of 2021. Cindy, his widow, sent me this book with an amazing signing at the beginning of the book. I'll leave that between us. But there's a part of this book that talks about DeMarcus Cousins. And I want to read an excerpt from this book just to reiterate how bad the situation was when DeMarcus came to Sacramento. This was one of DeMarcus's many, many, many suspensions throughout his career. And they had agreed to suspend him. And the next morning, there was a meeting scheduled at 9:30 between Jeff Petrie, DeMarcus, and Paul Westfall as the team is getting ready to leave for a game in Denver. And the meeting was supposed to be for DeMarcus to apologize. The Kings had written up a statement, and so Paul's waiting for the meeting to begin at 9:30, and Paul said, when it got to be 10:15, I wandered down the hall to Jeff's office. Jeff Petrie was the GM then. The door was closed, not unusual, especially if he was on the phone. Quote, let me know when DeMarcus and his agent get here, okay? I'll be in my office, I said to Petrie's assistant. Oh, they're in with Jeff now. Oh, I knew that meant trouble. Anyway, when he said Jeff Petrie is as honest and honorable as anyone I have known in the NBA. He will tell the truth, even to his own detriment, or he will say nothing. Quote, I thought I was supposed to be in the meeting, I began. He shrugged and offered no explanation. He didn't have to. We both knew it hadn't been his decision. Someone from upstairs had changed the agenda. Jeff, how can he apologize if I'm not there? He denies that he asked to be traded, Petrie responded. He hated the press release. He says it's unfair. No apology, of course. I was hoping we could put this behind us and all get on the plane to Denver. Now what? He's on the way to the airport. You should be going too, Petrie said. What? I know this is terrible, Paul. We need to see what happens over these next 2 road games. You don't have to start him or even put him in the game. But I don't even want him around the team until he apologizes. He's calling me, as coach, a liar. He disrespected his teammates and the whole organization by demanding a trade, and now he gets to waltz back in with 0 consequences. It sends the worst possible message. I know, but he won't apologize. He says he didn't ask for a trade and that the whole thing is a big, unfair misunderstanding. How many times have we heard that one, huh? I'm going to move down because I don't want to read the whole thing word for word. Anyway, they get on the plane. This is what Paul says about the plane ride. My talk with Cousins on the plane was pathetic. I tried my best, let us reason together approach. He offered nothing as he slouched in his chair, avoided eye contact, and fiddled with his cell phone. I reminded him I was the one who pushed to draft him and that I continue to believe in his talent and potential. I had promised him I would always deal with him truthfully and that any discipline would be designed for his ultimate good. Shrugs and blank stares were about all he contributed to the conversation. When he did speak, it was softly, that his words were barely audible. When we got to Denver, the Nuggets beat us by about 1 million points. Then the Jazz duplicated defeat in Utah the next game. DeMarcus pouted the entire time, both on and off the court. When we got back to Sacramento, I was called to Petrie's office and not to sign an extension. I didn't think DeMarcus had improved over those last 2 games. Let me turn the page here. But he must have, because was now a good enough player to get his coach fired. Can you believe that? He got his coach fired. The day after I was relieved of my duties. And he talks about that. Before he got on the plane, by the way, Petrie was quoted as saying this, according to Paul Westfall. When Paul was saying that this is ridiculous, I'm not making this up, Jeff said, I know, Paul. Nobody believes him. Everybody knows who's telling the truth, but he was told he can go on this trip. We'll see how things go and talk when you get back. What a disgrace. What a disgrace. And by the way, I really enjoyed the book. I read it in 2 days. I had the utmost respect for Paul Westfall. He's one of the great people I've met in my years of being around the NBA. If you didn't like Paul Westfall, you had a problem. If you didn't like him as a coach, fine, you didn't like him as a coach. But if you didn't like him as a person, you had a problem. There's something wrong with you. He was just a great person, and we lost him way too soon from brain cancer. But anyway, the book, A Tale of Two Seasons, is excellent. It's an excellent read. It's just got a lot of life stories in it. And it's incredible how kind and considerate of a man Paul Westfall was. Just amazing. All right, back to the Kings for a moment. I don't know what happens now. I really don't. To think that they're 4 games under 500 and 5 games under 500 on their home floor is really hard to believe. It really is. And when you look at the standings, everyone's still bunched up together in the West, but you have so many teams ahead of you, and the distance is growing between you and the playoffs. There's a lot of games left, but I don't know how this thing's going to get better. You're 4 games back in the loss column of the 10th spot. 4. That's significant. That's not just like a little bit. And the reason why I say that, Minnesota, San Antonio, and the Clippers all have 13 losses. You have 17. The Clippers have 3 more wins, the Spurs 2 more wins, and Minnesota 1 more win. But you always look at the loss column. That's quite a bit. It's quite a bit. Anyway, yeah, I'm kind of stuttering and I am because I don't know what to say. I'm normally not at a loss for words here, but DeMar DeRozan has not worked out. The bench is not good. Malik Monk into the starting lineup really doesn't even look that good anymore. Keegan Murray has regressed offensively. Fox is not happy. It's just a joke what's going on. Just is. But keep the messages coming. I really appreciate that. And I hope you have a great Christmas, great holiday season. We'll be with you again leading up to the Pistons game. Ryan's got the pregame show. Jerry at halftime will have the postgame show. And then this 5-game homestand will be over, where the Kings are 0-4. 0-4. How about that, huh? 0-4. I'm reading all the messages. Don't think I'm not. Thank you very much. I am reading all the messages. All right. Let's get to some phone calls right here on If You Don't Like That. Mr. Moss, how are you, sir?
Hey, Grant, how you doing, man?
I'm good. Merry Christmas, buddy. Yep.
You too, man. To you and your family.
Thank you.
Listen, man, I've been listening to you and Rhino post-game stuff, and your rant has just been on point.
Thank you.
You know, first and foremost, you know, nothing personal, but come on, Darren. Like you're the leader here. You're part of the problem.
Yep.
And so if you to come out and say, what's this team going to do, blah, 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 you're a diva. And you're doing things that LeBron do, Giannis did, and I don't like it. I'm not a Kings fan, but I root for this team. I go to the games. I want to see a good product on the floor. These last 4 games, flat out pathetic. The effort, you know, once they get down, I mean, it seems like they just forget how to play basketball. DeMar DeRozan, sometimes the name on the back of their jersey isn't the measuring stick, right? It's not who's the best player, it's who's the best fit. And that's been one of the most disappointing things in sports in the NBA as of late. Go give me the best player. No, go give me the best fit. You know what I'm saying? And so that's been disappointing. Obviously, Keegan hasn't shot it well. I thought when you insert Malik Monk in the starting lineup, the offense would get off to a good start. But they've been
and it
down
did for
early.
A little bit. It did for a little bit, but
did.
the caliber of competition was not very good other than the team you root for, the Houston Rockets.
Right. It did. But then it's kind of tailed back a little bit. And they still have like a top 10 offense, man, which is kind of crazy to say, but I mean, their offense isn't the worst, but then again, stats can be a little deceiving. I watch the game, so I can't just base it all off of that. And then before I go, you know, you pose a question to Ryan. You says, we know Sabonis makes Darren better, but does Darren make Sabonis better? And the answer is a flat out no. And it's okay. Listen, I mean, well, not that it's okay, but Sabonis is just a different type of player. There's a reason why that high post deep dribble handoff play is there. They're not running the offense through Darren. And so I don't know what this is, but right now they're at a stalemate. They're, you know, it's are they going forward? Are they going left? Are they going right? Are they going backwards? Yep. Their next move needs to be the best move. And the wrong move made right now can set this franchise back another 6-7 years.
Yeah.
And so I hope and pray that they do the right thing. I don't know what that move is, but they better do something right, Grant.
Thank you, buddy. Merry Christmas to you. I appreciate you.
Have a good one.
Thank you. Good stuff right there. You know, it's that's very hard to disagree with, right? What he just said. It really is. And then you have Mike Brown and, you know, his post-game press conferences. I don't even know what he's supposed to say anymore, you know, especially like after last night and 4 straight losses.
What more can you do? What else can be done?
I'm gonna keep searching it. You know, as you know, I was searching a little tonight. You know, we hadn't shot the ball well the last few games from the 3-point line. We did 3 games ago when Doug got some good minutes. He helped space the floor. We ended up scoring 120-something points against Denver. And so I gave him an opportunity tonight. And, but if somebody new steps in and gets an opportunity like Trey at the 5 and Doug on the floor, that probably means that somebody's going to be out, and tonight it was Isaac and Keon. Those two guys have been playing for us as of late, and they were out just because the minutes aren't there. And so I'm going to keep searching, and guys just have to stay ready because they're not.
All right, here's Domantas. Here's Domas Sabonis after the game.
It definitely feels tough. I feel like these last 3 games our defense has been good until the end. And it's just exhausting when you're playing good D, but you can't score, and then eventually the other team scores, and just the cycle.
Kevin mentioned, kind of the ball slowing.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. That's hard to hear. Let's get more of Mike Brown.
This is pretty low. We've had some other tough moments, but the one thing I firmly believe in is if things are going good, you can never get too high because this league it'll change in a heartbeat. And just like opposite, if things aren't going good, it's going to flip. So don't get too low. Keep trying to be locked in on the next task at hand and go from there. So as much as possible, it stings, it sucks, but try to stay as even keeled as possible while you're trying to figure.
One thing I always learned from being around Vladdy, don't get too high after a win, don't get too down after a loss. More of Mike Brown.
Hole, and once we got in a big hole, couldn't find or fight our way out of it.
Mike, that team in the second half looked like they quit, and the fans let them have it. What exactly is going on behind the scenes that you can share with us about your team and where they are right now?
I mean, nothing. We had a great walkthrough. Guys were feeling pretty good. We thought we were in a pretty good place. The fans definitely deserve better than what we showed today. And so somehow, some way, we got to not just give it to them, but we owe it to ourselves. Every man owes it to themselves. And, when you look in the mirror, you want to say that you left it all out on the floor. And you tried to play the right way, but giving up 70 points the way we did, it's understandable why the fans let us have it. And like I said, guys were in a good spot. I felt.
Again, the comments of Coach Mike Brown after the game last night. And I'll just say this, okay? I think this is spot on. Brown is looking for 4 strokes on the 18th hole, a par 3. He's just talking in circles at this point. He has no more options. That was James Ham who asked that question. It was a straightforward question. I don't know if Mike's got any more answers. I really don't. Like, what's he supposed to do? I don't know. Why would I think this team's going to go beat the Pistons? Why would I think that? I don't have any hope that they're going to go and beat Detroit. Why would I think that? Why would anybody think that? I don't know. I do know that I want to say thank you and happy holidays and Merry Christmas to our sponsors. New Works Plumbing, they've been with me from day one. I greatly appreciate everything they've done for me and this channel. SackServicePlumbing.com will get you all the information you need. Keep that number handy, 916-713-1010. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. They've been great to everything that I've done, and I'm greatly appreciative of them. I don't use the word great very often. They're great. And I'll tell you who else is great, and that's Brian Bennett and what they do at Bennett's. Prime Seafood and Steak. The loyalty that Brian has shown me over the years as a sponsor of my golf tournament, volunteering to have food at the golf course, donating to charity, so community-minded. I just love everything about Brian and what he represents. He's a great restaurateur, but he's even a better person. Just go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com to make a reservation. That's Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Prime seafood and steak at Bennett's. Thank them very much. So, what do you do if you're Mike Brown, right? What do you do? This is a great question. How can a team play with a bench like this? I don't disagree with you. I think that's the biggest problem with this team. I absolutely think it's, what do you say, right? Adam and New Works is one of a kind. I concur with you there. I love it. Oh, that's great. But seriously, what do you do with this bench? I don't know. Mike and Fox are off. They just are not a fit. It's time for one of them to go. Well, you know who's going to go if that's the case. It's not going to be Fox right now, in my opinion. I think if you're going to make a trade, in all honesty, I think it happens right before the trade deadline, because I think that's where you would get the most for, I would think, the biggest bang for your buck there. I think if you trade him now, you're not going to get as much. Teams get desperate or bold when you get right up against the deadline, and that's not until February. It's just, it's so disheartening over the holidays. I talked about this with Ryan. He's got family and friends in, and they want to go right to the game last night. And think about all the college students that are home and people gathering for the holidays, and let's go to the game, let's get tickets. And this is what you're watching? Very unfortunate. It really is. It's so unfortunate. Is the season over? No, it's not over, but it's close to being over. Who would have thought that before Christmas, that we would have said the season is looking almost over? Again, I can't say that because there's still 60 games left, right? Or excuse me, I take that back. There are 52 games left, all right? So 52 games are a lot of games. But think about what you have to do, right, just to get to be 500 now. Why would I think this team is going to be able to do that? I don't think so. Not at all. They're going to have to win 28. They're going to have to go 28 and 24 to get to 500. You think this team's going to go 28 and 24? You think this team's going to go 28 and 24 when they haven't played the Celtics yet? They haven't played the Bucks yet? They haven't played the Knicks yet? They haven't played Cleveland yet? They've only had one game against Oklahoma City, one game against Memphis, one game against Houston. You really think this team's going to go 28 and 24? Think about that. Think about the games that I just read off. Oh, yeah, you haven't played Dallas yet. You want me to go on, or should I stop because that's enough? You played Denver once. You're going to go 28 and 24? Really? How are you going to beat Boston and Cleveland, Milwaukee, and the Knicks? That's 8 games right there. How are you going to beat Oklahoma City? That's 2 more games. How are you going to beat Houston? I know you've already beat them once, but come on. How are you going to beat Memphis? You already lost to them. I'm sorry, I don't see it. This team, just to get to 500, this team I don't see is going to end up 500 this year. And I'll tell you, if the Kings lose to the Pistons, if they lose to the Pistons, oh my goodness. That's all I can say. Oh my goodness. And the Pistons are no slouch. They're playing the Lakers tonight, by the way. The Pistons have the same number of losses as the Kings. Think about that. The Pistons are 12 and 17. The Kings are 13 and 17. And the Pistons just beat the Suns in Phoenix. And again, they play the Lakers coming up tonight. You hope the Pistons win tonight. Suns are in Denver to take on the Nuggets. Indiana is taking on the Warriors. Dallas hosts Portland. The Thunder are home to the Wizards. The Clippers are in Memphis. Just underway. The Rockets already up 9 in Charlotte against the Hornets. We didn't even talk about the Rockets yet. The Rockets went flying by Sacramento. And yes, I know the Kings beat them in the one meeting this year, but the Rockets are way past Sacramento right now in their growth. Way past. The Rockets are 19-9. They went by the Kings like a speeding bullet. All right? They flew by Sacramento. Bye-bye. Just like Oklahoma City flew by Sacramento. Just like Memphis flew by Sacramento. Beep, beep. Beep, beep. Right? Remember the Roadrunner? Beep, beep. Houston went by the Kings just like that. Beep, beep. Gone. Oh, you know what else the Rockets do? The Rockets win at home. The Rockets are 11-3 at home. Kings haven't played there yet, by the way, this year. That's right. The Houston Rockets. Ime Udoka. 11-3 at home. Let me read the home records for you. I hope I don't spoil your holiday, but I feel that I should do this. Here are your home records in the West, and I'm only going to read the records at home. Oklahoma City 11-2, Memphis 13-3, Houston 11-3, Dallas 9-4, Denver 7-4, the Lakers 9-3, Golden State 7-5, the Clippers 10-6, Spurs 11-7, Timberwolves 8-6, Phoenix 9-6, the Kings 6-11. How about that? Remember that? Beep, beep. The Roadrunner, baby. Used to love that. Wasn't that great? That was a great show. Loved it. Shows you how old I am. Shows you how old I am. What can I tell you, right? Hey, New Works Plumbing. Bennett's, I've thanked them already on the show. I now want to do the same for Sunrise Landing and Dennis Blazona at Blazona Development. I can't thank them enough for their support of me, their support of this channel. Sunrise Landing in Calusa. Check out their models. No Mellorews, no homeowners. Good location adjacent to the Calusa Golf and Country Club. But again, I want to say thank you very much to Dennis and Blazona Development and everyone affiliated with Sunrise Landing. Thank you very much. Your sponsorship, your support means the world to me, and I'm grateful. I'm also grateful for the folks at EDH Motors who sponsors A Rant with Grant. I met Adam, David. They have over 4 decades of experience in the automotive industry. EDH Motors Automotive Reimagined. If you go to their website, you can get all the information at edhmotors.com. You can check out all of their inventory. And here's what is important. If you don't find what you're looking for, no problem. Call David and Adam. They'll get it for you. They'll get exactly what you want. You don't have to go to the dealership. You don't have to deal with all of that. You go to their beautiful auto lounge in the El Dorado Hills Town Center. So if you're in the market over the new year, EDH Motors, they're awesome. It's a great new concept, edhmotors.com. And again, I want to say thank you for their sponsorship that began back in September. It's greatly appreciated. And coming up at the Pistons game, I'll have a rant with Grant. What is Vivek thinking right now? I know exactly what Vivek's thinking right now. He's got a lot of people in his ear that don't work for the organization right now. I guarantee you, he's got people in his ear that don't work for the organization, that may come in and undercut Monty because they want a job. Guarantee it. I know how it works. 100%. And I have not yet talked with Vladdy. I will 100% guarantee you he's talking to Vladdy about what's going on. And I know Vladdy well enough to say, don't do anything rash. Don't do anything irrational, because I know Vladdy. That's how he is. I guarantee you that Vivek's talking with a lot of people. I know he is. That's his MO. And I guarantee you that they're also thinking about every single scenario as it relates to the coach. That I can guarantee you. Guarantee you. So I think that this is way off base. All of you need to chill out. Teams go on losing streak. It happens. They'll bounce back. This is not just a losing streak. T-Money, Sacktown. This is a pattern that's begun since opening night. It's not just a losing streak. Okay? They lost 4 in a row. If you took the 4-game losing streak out, you didn't play those games, you'd still only be 500. Come on now. It's not. This is a lot more than a losing streak. Jay, you here? Your championship team ain't looking so hot. I would agree with that. The Roadrunner got a quick first step. Beep, beep. You're right about that. Is this a 32-win King squad? I'll tell you right now, Cody, if they lose to the Pistons, they may not win 30 games. If they lose to the Pistons, there's no recovery from that. You go 0-5 in this homestand with everyone playing, there is no, you don't recover from that. You don't recover from that. You know? Do I believe some things can flip in our direction about that game style? Yeah, things can change, but I look at the bigger picture. I don't look at small sample sizes. I look at 5-game increments. And with the exception of the 5-game increment that involved wins at Houston, home against Houston in that stretch, there hasn't been a good 5-game stretch the whole year. So I'm not very optimistic. Without a bench, this is done like dinner. I can't disagree with that. You know, would the Rockets be willing to part ways with Jalen Green? I don't know why the Rockets would do anything right now other than what they are doing. They're moving full steam ahead. Beep, beep. Thank you for that. I'm not making any trades if I'm Houston. I'm not. But they went so fast. They went right by Sacramento. The Kings didn't even know what that noise was because they went by him so fast. Like a rocket. So, yeah. I mean, look at Houston, for crying out loud. Would you please? They're 19-9. Think about that. 19-9. Oh, and at the end of the first quarter, they're in Charlotte. Merry Christmas to all the folks in Charlotte. It's 31-15. They're already up 16 points after the first quarter. Look at the Rockets. How about Ime Udoka, coach of the year through the first 30 games of the year? I wouldn't make any trades if I'm Houston. Why? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why would you make a deal? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I just think that there's too many problems right now for Sacramento. I just think there's too many. And I don't see a quick fix here, especially with what appears to be an unhappy player in De'Aaron Fox. All right, I want to just come on. I want to talk about Paul Westfall's book, the late Paul Westfall. Again, a tale of, it's hard to do with a tale of 2 seasons. Check it out. It's great. I have so much respect for Cindy, his widow, and Paul was such a great man. Thank you so much for your support of this channel. Merry Christmas. Don't let the Kings bring down your holiday, all right? Don't let them bring down your holiday. The holiday's too special for that. Enjoy your loved ones, your friends, your family. Stay safe, would you please? I'm blessed to be able to talk to you each and every day. I speak for Ryan, too, when we say thank you very much. And I'll just end on this. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. So long. Talk to you soon, right here on If You Don't Like That. Oh, boy. Bye-bye.